che è scattato il fallo dell'ultimo uomo che aveva già ammonito.
No, voglia che esistono.
Ho fatto un pallaccio, questa Paola Tomassi, mamma mia. Ha chiesto anche scusa. Ma che scusa vuoi chiedere? Se gli hai rovinato una carriera sulla tavola. Tanto è stata una traversa, no, sto giocando
Questo già l'ho
in un altro gioco.
Questo già l'ho sentito.
Questo sta tirando. Maroma in oddio che combinato.
Ok.
No, ho segnato Rudiger. No, che fai?
There's something I want to talk about. It concerns the running of Mother Base. Come meet with me. You came. This base belongs to you now. Make Diamond Dogs the force it deserves. Like any organization, we need good people, and we need to make good use of their talents. Miller asked me to lay that out for you. To start bringing people in, use this. It's a Fulton recovery device.
Oh, il Fulton, finalmente.
When you're in the field, use it to extract any soldiers or prisoners you want back here. And we'll see if we can't persuade them to join the ranks of Diamond Dogs. Go on. Test it out on the staff here. Anyone you want. First, put them to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? I'm ready, boss. What's the matter, boss? All right, then. That's one way of doing it. Now extract it. Good.
Ma sono per tutti, basta che rientrano nel loro.
You can only Fulton recover someone if they're not resisting. No dead bodies either. They don't make great recruits. The staff member you just extracted will be assigned to the team best suited to his abilities. See for yourself. Open your iDroid. Select staff management. So that staff member was placed on the R&D team. The R&D team is in charge of developing all kinds of weapons and items that will support you on missions. Take a look at the development list. Select weapons items under the development heading. That's the R&D team's development list. See the item called cardboard box? Doesn't seem much use to me, but Miller was adamant that you'd want it on the list. The last word in infiltration technology, or so he said. In any case, we don't have the manpower to develop it just yet. We need more staff on the team. Go extract a few more people. Put the iDroid. You can also Fulton extract individuals you've knocked out. Why don't you try knocking someone out with CQC now? Excellent, boss. Now extract them. Good. Extraction complete. One thing I should mention, the Fulton extraction won't always be successful. If the person is injured, the shock of it could kill them. And if the weather's unfavorable, well, they could end up going missing. You can determine the chance of success by approaching the person you want to extract. If you want to be sure you can get them out, best carry them to the chopper instead. All right, extract the next staff member. Extract him. Start by knocking him out, or you can put him to sleep. If there are multiple form CQC on them.
Boom. Minchia.
Boss, now we have more people on the R&D. Its level has gone up. We should be able to select weapons items under the development heading. Now select cardboard box and start development. Just be aware, development has finished. You can have the support unit supply you with weapons and items you've developed. Think of it as your own personal delivery service.
Madonna, madonna, Magnella a parata è entrata uguale.
And there it is. Not sure what it's good for, but Miller said you know what to do. Try it out. One last thing. Staff members you extracted were all placed on the R&D team, but that was Miller's decision. If you think they belong somewhere else, you're free to move them around. Well, that about does it. You won't make any GMP or find recruits hanging around here. Board the chopper when you're ready for a mission. Open your iDroid and select a landing zone to tell it where to pick you up. Or if you're still in the mood for knocking guys on their asses, you can stay around here a while. Give the men some practice. Just come pay me a visit.
Assurdo. Che figo.
Boss, let's practice your CQC. Begin by grabbing.
Giocato prima di questo.
Mm?
Ricordami quali altri hai giocato prima di questo.
Tutti.
Quindi fammi vedere.
Peace Walker, l'ultimo che ho giocato.
Quello prima non avevi giocato un altro.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Quello di Raiden.
Ma quello di Raiden in teoria non è semicanonico. Però l'ho comprato, lo giocherò dopo Phantom Pain.
Don't pull any punches. Once you grab someone, you're free to do as you like. Interrogate him, knock him out. Good. Go on and extract him. Now for fist fight. Strike an adversary repeatedly to knock him out. Understand? Try it one more time. Strike an adversary repeatedly to knock him out. What's the matter? Give it another try.
Ma come?
Let's do this, boss.
Fermalo.
Merda!
Strike an adversary repeatedly to knock him out. He'll stay unconscious for longer than he can throw. Try it again. Fall into place for some time. Somebody help me!
Next.
That won't work on me. I've had drug resistance
Già, hai detto, sempre di-
2 plus 2 equals 5. 2 plus 2 equals 5. That won't work on me. I've had drug resistance training. This isn't the time.
Perché è andato così?
Allora.
Select unit. Select unit.
Un pippone questo qua.
Please specify project.
No, allora.
Curso esce troppo bene.
Please rewind.
Che cazzo è una doccia? Shower. Figo. Ma che figo Ocelot! Mamma mia! Bellissimo!
Extraction arrived at Motor Base. Development project has been added.
Renov. Eh sì, che tocca ricostruirla.
Mannaggia, come avrei voluto quello.
Premete sorprendente senza muoverti, puoi infliggere al massimo 5 calci e pugni. Ok. Azzong da Mother Base.
Boss, I know you haven't been back long, but I prepared a list of missions for you. Open your iDroid.
Ma la Williams vedi che ancora gioca.
Vabbè. Missione.
I've taken the job offers Diamond Dogs has received and made a list of those I want you to consider. Which ones you accept is your call. The objectives of the missions I've added are prisoner rescue, facility sabotage, and high-value target elimination. Probably all a walk in the park for you, but they should help you get back on your feet. I put the mission details on a cassette tape. Refer to it if you decide to accept the mission. We'll receive GMP for completing missions, and extracting soldiers and prisoners will boost our ranks. Building up Mother Base is the first step to achieving our goal. If that means wet work, so be it. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty. I hope you're rested up, because we're not stopping. Not until the pain is gone. The future of Diamond Dogs is in your hands. We're counting on you, boss.
Ma la Raven che per
Ah. Merda. Okay.
Farming villages in southern Vahan have been subjected to a strategic bombing campaign the past several weeks. The damage is spreading. It's part of the Soviet Scorched Earth operation aimed at wiping out the guerrillas.
Vado
The
qui.
target this time is the commander of the Spetsnaz detachment. He's been key to the operation's success. People say this guy's...
No!
manco quando finisco. Questa la prossima partita con Maradona è finita. Ma gli dà più da. Ah, gli dai più da.
Seahorse.
Segni anche un gol in 3 partite differenti con questo oggetto e questo si può fare solo in grado.
Che figo! Il cammino dell'eroe. Episodio 3. Chi? Ah, minchia.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. And I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago Calais and eliminate the target.
Allora, qua.
Ocelot, I hear they started calling you Shalashaska in Afghanistan. What's that about? You know the term Sharashka? It's slang for a suspicious, hastily thrown together organization.
We can use compounds from plants to make medicine or poison for use in new weapons and equipment. Take a look at the plants list on your iDroid to see which ones we need. Then go find them if you get the chance. It'll keep the staff happy too.
Supervised by Lavrenti Beria of the NKVD, the secret police, under the official name
Aspetta un attimo.
Force Special Department. Forced research? That's not very different from what we do here. Diamond Dogs is different. Everyone here believes in you. Regardless of where they came from or why they're here, they revere you. And they're fighting because it was their choice. And if it wasn't, they'd leave? Who knows? That's our reality here, whether it's real or not. If there's another truth, I don't want to know it. All that matters is that's the concept that's taken shape in their heads. The traces of a group ideology, our superstructure, to put it in Marxist terms. All right. Go on. Right. So anyway, at some point the enemy started calling me Sharashka. This was after the war in Afghanistan broke out. While I was keeping an eye on you in that hospital, I was also heading up interrogations here. The men I broke gave up their comrades and families, everything they wanted to protect them most. No real cause for it. I just let myself get caught up in the old Russian pride. And suddenly I received the honor of becoming Special Interrogation Advisor to the forced labor camps. But the more men I interrogated, the more people saw me as just that, the interrogator. It helped cover my real objective of keeping you safe. You went that far for me? Far enough to keep you alive. I ended up being pretty well known among the Afghan guerrillas. Some of them would have seen me on the battlefield, and that's how I got the second half of the name.
Wormwood, also known as absinthium. That's used to make your phantom cigars.
The Cossacks carried them into battle. Now, the Russian Empire had a general by the name of Fyodor Arturovich Keller. His bravery earned him the nickname Russia's Greatest Shashka. Someone must have known about that, because somewhere along the line, Shashka got stuck on the end of Sharashka. The guerrillas were using the name amongst themselves, and by the time I got to hearing about it, pronunciation had wound up as Shalashashka. So half gulag, half hero sword. It was a perfect fit. But you see how rumors and ideas about people can get out of hand fast. Once you create a character and put it out there in public mind, it warps and twists with every baseless rumor. And before you know it, all people see are phantoms. In my case, it works out just fine. I'm plenty used to working under aliases. So SALT II still hasn't gone into effect. That treaty was drawn up to limit not just the size of the U.S. and Soviet Union's nuclear arsenals, but also their delivery systems. The whole deal. That's when we thought all those years of negotiations had paid off. Somebody decides to invade Afghanistan. The timing couldn't have been worse. The president was in the middle of the SALT II talks back then. You mean while you were busy trying to stop Peace Walker? I heard. President Ford was meeting with the General Secretary in Vladivostok. In his absence, the political brass in America detected what they didn't realize was false nuclear launch data from Peace Walker. They were on the verge of ordering a retaliatory nuclear strike. Coleman's big idea?
Cristo Dio,
Humans are
amore.
incapable of destroying themselves. Turns out he never knew what
Ah, bellissimo.
If that AI,
Mamma mia.
the boss, hadn't found a way to stop the fake data transmission, they probably would have gone ahead with the launch.
Boh, mo' ho iniziato.
Revealed as the pipe dream it was. All thanks to you and her. The U.S.-Soviet talks looked set to fall through. What happened in Nicaragua no doubt helped trigger.
I cutscene hanno un livello che ho visto solo su Death Stranding. Un livello di regia e sceneggiatura, mamma mia.
The place was Selenium in the Soviet Union. We were enemies.
Oddio.
With the GRU, you were still fighting for America. 1964. Operation
Snake Eater.
Its objective, the assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home,
You gotta extract him.
they awarded you the title Big Boss. Your CO, Zero, sought to carry on the boss's will by covertly establishing his own organization. You knew the original members from Operation Snake Eater. From America, there was David O, or as he was to you, Major Zero.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
A.K.A. Sigan, Dr. Clark, who went by paramedic during the operation, and the fourth, you. From China, there was Eva, and me, Ocelot, from the Soviet Union. 6 in total. To us, government notions of friend and foe were meaningless. As were East and West, we joined forces by our will alone. Our objective was to fulfill the boss's dying wish, to make the world one. And to do it, Zero used the Philosopher's Legacy, the secret war fund you obtained during Operation Snake Eater. This organization would go on to become Cypher. I, on the other hand, was left with a problem. You only recovered half of the legacy. I had to locate the other half myself. When I found the funds, I passed them on to Zero, just as you wanted. I still trusted him in those days. We thought what he was doing was the boss's will, until he started that one project. Les enfants terribles, Zero called it. You parted ways, as did Eva, leaving only Anderson and Clark still with him. I maintained limited contact, although truth be told, we were just keeping tabs on one another. The reason was always you. After you returned to the Army and created Foxhound, you left America. For a time, even I'd lost track of you. I'd imagine Zero did too. You always were the best when it came to hide and seek. Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries made the world just one big organism. And that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from
You gotta extract him.
the larger Zero became. As if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing. No photos, no recordings, not even a reliable rumor as to his whereabouts. I tried every method I could think of, but Zero was gone. Freed of his control, his creation, his power continued to grow. Cypher is a great beast, and Zero was its spine. But even without it, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital. Cypher's Black Ops Unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean.
Merda.
Christmas Eve, 1979. The Soviet Union rolled into Afghanistan. Muslims had revolted against the Soviet-friendly regime established the year before. The DRA forces could no longer contain it themselves, so the Soviets went in to intervene. The Afghan government was powerless and fraught with infighting. They lost the hearts and minds of the people, and that alarmed the Soviet leadership. With the Islamic Revolution happening in Iran, the Soviets felt they had to act fast or risk the spread of Islamic revivalism. A superpower, sending a motorized rifle division against men on horseback with antique rifles. Everyone thought it'd be over.
Those materials have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base.
It began a guerrilla campaign on all fronts. A war of attrition. These fighters call themselves Mujahideen. They're being supported by the West through Pakistan. That's why Miller was involved. He was training them near the Zero Line, sponsored by the CIA. The war has become a nightmare for the Soviet troops stationed here. They thought they'd be headed home in 6 months at the most. Then a year passed. 2 years. Now here we are 4 years on with no exit in sight. Afghanistan has become the Soviet Union's Vietnam.
You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, here's a...
Perché non sento la sensibilità, la vibrazione? Ah,
Spetsnaz recon detail with him.
oops.
Keep your guard up.
The Soviets destroy the kishlaks, villages, wherever they can. They burn down homes and fields, fill in wells, turn pastures into minefields. It's created a mass of refugees who fled to Pakistan. If the Mujahideen are fish swimming around the villages, the Soviets will go so far as to dry out their ocean. But this has had a big price. There's bitter resentment among the Afghans, and they're taking out their anger on the soldiers on the front lines. Among the Mujahideen are the Pashtun people. They're fiercely devoted to their code of Badal, or revenge. Soviets they've captured have had their hands, feet, and noses cut off before being left to die at the side of the road, just to show their comrades what they're capable of. Friendlies who come across them can do nothing but put them out of their misery. Then they burn down another village in retaliation. And the cycle of vengeance goes on. That's a shed where they hang their crops to dry. It's a sturdy building. Should be able to take your weight. Boss, intelligence work is all about observation and gathering information. Start by using your binoculars to get a grasp of your surroundings.
Come vai?
Devo correre, devo fare le cose veloci.
Non è una buona cosa. Hands up. Ti posso attaccare? Ok. Come failed? No! Come extraction failed? Ma come? Che crocca che gli ho tirato. Sei morto? No. Stordito.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Vai.
You gotta extract him. So your suppressor is worn out. That gun will be as loud
Le presenze possono essere collegate a un riposito.
as any other now. If you have to shoot, be careful.
Merda. Merda. Coglione. Coglione di merda sono. Via via. Ah, muoio. Voglio un cecchino.
Ma Polarni poi
Cecchino.
di...
No. Puoi sceglierti l'equipaggiamento prima della missione, perché parti dalla Mother Base, che è la zona, il quartiere generale.
Tipo come quando inizi le missioni di Call of Duty.
Di che code? Aspetta, di che code parli?
Della campagna. Che puoi scegliere che fermi.
Oddio.
Puoi portare solo alcune, che tipo la primaria, la secondaria.
Non mi ricordo che campagna stai dicendo, però boh.
Di quattro campagna.
Vabbè, comunque c'è una varietà di armi abnorme, ho visto. Puoi sceglierti 2 armi lunghe e 2 piccole. E tantissimi oggetti, scatole, fumogene, stordenti, un botto di roba. Qua è un casino. Muori. Ah, ma che bello headshottare le persone. tempesta di sabbia di merda. Battene di togli. Ok.
Sandstorms effectively make you blind and deaf. But that goes for the enemy too. Use the situation to your advantage. Giving up their search for you. But they're not giving the all clear just yet. Stay alert. Those are raw diamonds. Collecting them as assets will raise our GMP. Either destroy that, or turn it off to shut off all the lights and surveillance cameras in the outpost. But of course, the enemy will realize something's up. If you're gonna do it, be quick.
Ciao Alex.
That was target confirmed dead. Impressive work, boss. He's coming too. Roger that. Time doesn't stop while you use the iDroid. You can even move around while using it, but pay attention to your surroundings.
КП, понял. Всем подразделениям, быть начеку. Конец связи. Я не хочу умирать!
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. Mission complete. Great work. How you feeling, boss? Getting used to being in the field again? Having choppers and horse at your disposal is indispensable for operating in the wilds of Afghanistan. I've gone ahead and arranged for you to be able to develop and customize weaponry for support choppers. And you can also develop new equipment for D-Horse if you like. Use your iDroid to start development as needed. By connecting your iDroid to the onboard computer, you turn the chopper into your own Aerial Command Center, or ACC. Some elements of staff assignment and R&D of weapons and items can only be performed from there. Take as long as you need to consider all your options.
Kaz, what about the unit that attacked us in the mist? You knew something about them.
That wasn't my first run-in with them. It happened right before I was captured by the Soviets. We were on the zero line that day. The Afghan side. On our way back from training the Mujahideen at a mountain camp in Kunar province. There's a lot of that work in Afghanistan. Most PFs shy away from it because it draws too much attention. But for us, that was the whole point. The job itself went great. We just had to make it back to a tribal area in Pakistan. But all of a sudden, visibility got real bad. It was no sandstorm. Our point man gave this strange report. He said he could see skulls in the mist.
Skulls?
The next moment, he went silent. We scrambled into formation, right before his arms and legs came raining down on us. It was always supposed to be a dangerous mission, so I had Diamond Dog's very best with me. We were calling out to each other. But one by one, the voices just went dead. Whatever happened to me, I lost consciousness before I knew it. When I came to, I was in a Soviet camp, tied to an interrogation chair.
Could they be some new Spetsnaz unit?
No. The ones that interrogated me were just the average rank and file. Whatever group attacked us, the way they moved was just insane. And that mist, appearing out of nowhere. The Soviets don't have tech like that.
If they did, Ocelot would have heard about it.
I doubt the West does either. Otherwise, the folks at Langley would be sleeping a lot easier.
Why'd they come after you?
Wish I knew. I'm the only one who survived. Though I don't think they planned it that way. If I was their target, they wouldn't have just handed me over to the 40th Army. Whatever the case, we need to watch our step until we know who they really are. And boss, if you ever do run into them again, don't try to take them on. You just get the hell out of there. When I first started dealing with Zero, with Cypher, it was a somewhat parasitic relationship. Though, a mutually beneficial one. Cypher had no army of their own, so they wanted us. They wanted our strength. They approached me as a potential business partner.
But they had other motives.
Cypher coaxed us into Central America, into that US-Soviet proxy war, to fuel Mother Base's growth. Once we were big enough, they'd force us to join them. That was the plan.
That's why they had Paz, still Zeke.
Right. And if we refused, she would use Zeke to fire a nuke from Mother Base. The world would consider us a liability, and countries would unite to destroy us.
We stopped the launch.
And yet they still took us down. Through that fake inspection they orchestrated to cover up their sabotage. That power Cypher wanted. We don't have it anymore. So why are they still after you? Is it just the fear of leaving you alive?
I don't know. Was Zero really... All I know is the man I knew wouldn't want this.
What do you mean?
We have to consider that it might not be Zero we're dealing with.
We know virtually nothing about Cypher anymore. How big they've gotten, what they want, or even who they really are. The new mother...